Hi, everyone. This is the Army of Drunks Christmas special. Our guests are Rico Galliano from the Dinner Party Download and Andy Herman, music editor of the former LA Weekly. We're on an airplane. Just roll with it. But before we start the show, remember the Army of Drunks contains inebriated people talking about horrible things. It's not safe for work. It's not safe for your family. It's not even that good, but please listen responsibly.
Holy shit, it's cold.
God.
First of all,
What happened?
Dude, you said you could fly.
I'm gonna
could.
introduce the show live from the side of a mountain in Iceland.
Wait, I
looks
think
that
we
way.
lost.
This is the Army of Drunks 2017
We're in a fucking
Christmas,
snowbank is what we're in.
Christmas special.
Because somebody totally said they could fly us as the prop plane.
I flew it fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Landing-
Flew it
Land-
right into the side of a
landing
fucking
didn't-
mountain.
Yeah.
So,
Well, be
welcome
fair,
to the
be
Army.
fair.
Welcome to the Army of Drunks.
He was flying fine until
Hi,
he
everybody.
took a whiz out the window.
Yeah.
But welcome to the Army of Drunks. Sorry to
Matt's
get to
got
that
glass in his bird.
Yeah.
I think actually we were discussing that. I think it's probably fiberglass because it's more itchy than painful.
Yeah,
if
well,
I'm
I ain't
honest with
taking
you.
it out, and probably nobody
Your
else
dick
is.
was itchy before the crash.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry
This
Christmas,
is going to
everybody.
be one of our last show.
We're all cold and starving.
Yeah.
We're starving. We're on the side of a
Really
mountain
cold.
looking for a soccer team.
This is This is Eric, also known as Shaft, for reasons that won't matter in a few hours
Yeah,
because I'll be dead.
because we're all going to be dead
we're all
on the side of this hill.
With us also, Matt. Say hello because you're responsible.
This is your fault.
Aloha.
Yeah.
Thanks, Matt.
Mr. Buck down here.
Hi, it's Buck.
And
It's
of
your buddy
course,
Buck,
Spork, also known as Vanessa.
Hola.
who's probably regretting coming back to doing the show
It was
already.
a good idea.
This was a great idea, and with us is our final guests, two people who used to work in media, and they aren't no longer working in media just because we've crashed in Iceland. Mr. Andy Herman, former music editor of LA Weekly. Say hi.
Hi, rub it in, why don't you? Hi.
okay.
Yeah, that's me.
Former music editor of LA
Yeah.
Weekly. Yeah.
Hi.
You're,
It's really, really fucking cold to be here.
and of course, host of the Dinner Party Download, Mr. Rico Galliano.
Yep, I was really unhappy that my show got canceled, but I'm looking back like that was the best thing that happened in the last month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, Rico has a book out right now called Brunch is Hell.
Go buy it.
Thanks.
Go buy it. But he brought a lot of them on the plane, which is really fortunate because we're burning them for warm.
Kindling.
Yeah, that's
So
really good.
the good news is maybe if we survive this, we could have some kind of contest to win the one copy that we don't use to cook this jar of cocktail onions.
That would be awesome. But if we don't survive it, then it really doesn't matter if you buy it or not, because
Yeah.
I'm obviously not going to collect any royalties.
Well, I read
Yeah,
the
we'll
first
see
chapter. I think people will get a lot out of it.
Okay.
I like it.
Whether I die or not.
Whether
is
you die or
a-
not. By the way, with us also, much to his chagrin, is Mixmaster Mixmaster Therm.
Thank God he's here.
He's
Turns
making
out foraging for berries.
he's
or
making hot
something.
buttered rums over the
Yeah.
flaming wreckage of the plane.
Yeah.
So I gotta give him credit. He's pro
Yep.
to the very end.
This is the way
Absolutely.
I would.
He can-
I always imagined that I would go out
Yeah, I
sipping
think
this
we all did.
delicious beverage.
Yeah. And the drink tonight, if you're home, it's Christmas Eve probably, if you're listening to this.
If unlike us, you're indoors and
And-
surrounded by loved ones.
If you're listening to the show, you're not surrounded by loved ones.
Yeah,
No.
true. It's-
This is our show.
Our show is designed
Our show's
for
for
people
shut-ins.
who have no one else in the world and
It's
nothing
Christmas
else to
Eve.
do but
Hey,
listen to but us.
If you
on
do have
Christmas
loved
Eve.
ones, the show's designed to chase them far away.
Yeah. This is the Army of Drunks Christmas special, and we are drinking the hot buttered rum because
I'm
that's all
enjoying
we
it.
had on the plane. We had a whole bunch. We should back up and tell everyone
how we ended up.
How we? Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to
Do
tell
we-
him, Matt?
I don't remember very much of it.
All right.
Okay,
So
well,
it
there
started
were-
off fine.
It started off fine. There were a lot of.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we couldn't get a direct flight.
Whose
I
decision
remember
was
that.
it to go to the podcast festival in Norway? Was it yours, Spork? Was that your idea?
Well, I'm half Norwegian.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Which
just-
half? Top half or bottom half?
The lower part.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Is
Downstairs.
that like a mermaid
Yeah.
sort of?
Yeah.
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 So
Yeah.
You're
Kipper?
half lutefisk
Yeah.
on the bottom part.
Norway or the highway.
But it was a great idea.
See, everybody was readily agreed upon this.
Oh,
So,
fair-
Okay, so it was.
but I mean,
it's a-
this is not at all my fault. Like
No.
the
No, it's
Just-
right.
Oh no, we're
No.
not to whose fault it is
No.
yet.
Okay.
But
God did this to us.
we brought, of course, Andy because you were unemployed.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really have anything else going on. And,
Yeah.
you know, I heard
Again,
this
the-
podcast racket is hot right now.
Yeah,
so-
so we're
Oh.
gonna
Yeah.
go do
So much money.
a podfest
So
or
much
something.
money.
Yeah, you know
in
what? There's a
Norway.
big opening in the podcast world
Yeah.
because
Oh, there's
mine's
getting ready to
gone
be a
now.
bigger one.
Yeah. The really funny thing, of course, is that they didn't know Rico's show was over.
Yeah.
So you
Which
just
is why
went-
I was on the plane, and now I feel doubly stupid.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Figured-
guys.
And well, okay. So, there
nobody
was no
else,
direct
nobody
flight.
else would do this stupid festival.
Well, a lot
except
of
for-
Norwegians
Yeah.
will, but no one from. I mean,
Well,
Marin said no.
Yeah.
Corolla said
Yeah.
no. Who's the?
It's just us and some Ouija's.
Yeah, who's the guy who does lore?
Lore?
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
The Night Vale guys said no.
Yeah.
Ira Glass, you can't even get near Ira Glass. The snipers will take you out. So it was
kill
us.
Yeah. So
And
Layers and layers
on
of people.
72 hours notice, you can't get a direct flight to Oslo. So we got like 5 connections, I think. Each layover was no less than 6 hours.
Yeah, but they were fine. There was a German
There were
tourist
airport
in
bars?
Yeah, they
Munich
got
who
lots of bars.
traded us about 12 tabs of ecstasy for.
Which, by the way, we
my
all
iPhone.
took for warm.
Yeah. By the way, ecstasy's great to keep you warm.
Yeah, well, it's all we had to eat. It was like it's like Tic Tacs.
Sweating like you wouldn't believe here, man.
And it's
I go,
why I'm not sliding into despair.
Yeah, we're gonna do this podcast.
yeah,
No, we're all
this is-
happy.
This is a good idea.
Looking forward to heading into the light, you know? It's
I
love
Yeah.
You guys.
I love you guys too.
No,
We-
I think this is what they give people with PTSD, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
It's
we,
true.
we've
So-
got
So we're just
pre-traumatic
getting a jump on it.
pre TSD, yeah.
So,
Shit's gonna get a lot worse. So
long
we should.
story,
It's better
yeah,
to pad that.
Before we get to how we crashed, let's just cards on the table. The dicks out. That's a terrible phrase. I don't know what that means, but
In this
I
day
don't
and
know why they
age,
even
Eric,
use that.
Dicks
Dicks out.
out.
hey,
Let's go back
dicks
to
out, dicks out.
Go back to cards
table.
on the table.
There's not enough food, and we've talked amongst ourselves. One of us is going to get eaten
One of them's
tonight.
gonna. We've got. There is a case of peanuts, of airplane
there
peanuts that
peanuts?
I managed to grab those, but
Yeah.
but Spork's allergic, so we cannot open them.
yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm afraid.
Well,
we
wait a
just
minute.
can't.
Why don't we just open them?
And then he,
No, 'cause she'll
then
get really
Spork
sick.
Will die,
She'll-
and then we can eat her.
Well, we
Okay,
just
wait a
have to
minute.
think about this here a little bit before we
Whoa,
just jump to,
slow
you
down.
know.
Why? I don't think so
It
at
should
all.
be a logical decision.
I
all
mean,
They're
right?
tiny. They're tiny
there
little.
are plenty of other factors to think about here
Okay.
in terms of like who goes down.
Okay, tell me the
first.
factors.
Have you ever
Well, I
watched
mean,
somebody?
you know, I mean, like I don't have a lot of meat on me.
Okay.
Right? I'm much smaller than most of you.
That's
That's
true.
true.
I'm 5'2",
Yeah.
you know?
Anaphylactic shock makes human
So,
meat
I mean-
gamey, and they're tiny little bags too. They're really more trouble than they're worth.
Yeah.
My big question, I think we should come up with it. One is maybe size, who's the biggest, who can feed the most. But I think the real criteria should be who has the least to lose. And
Oh, that's going to be a crowded field at this point.
yeah,
that's
so
true.
I think we need to.
So you've got 2 unemployed journalists in a dying media market.
Yeah.
You got
Four
a musician.
podcasters.
You know,
That's a
also in a
musician.
dying media market.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so
we've
at
got-
least 3 of us have virtually no value to society.
That's
right
true.
now.
Why don't
Yeah.
you just stack us on top of each other? We'll
Yeah.
be like a
like like
a
cordwood.
Big Mac of shame.
Yeah.
Shame.
And
I
then you
futz
can
around
just
in
take
an
a big
office for 40 hours.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
Oh,
you
you're
have a-
valuable. You're valuable.
Yeah,
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 I mean, you're
40-ish
like a
hours.
manager. So.
I write.
Ironically, Matt is probably the most valuable to society
Yeah,
right now.
I just make children laugh.
Yeah,
And,
you
that
write
thing.
comics.
Oh,
You
making
write
children
comics.
laugh is a noble. That's probably.
But no one
I'd
gives a
argue that's-
shit.
Most of no, they're not children reading your comic book. These are fucking shut-in 35-year-olds.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah,
There are no
I'd be better off out of this.
Yeah.
there are no Zim fans under 37, are there?
Yeah.
And so we'll revisit this.
Well,
as
yeah,
we
we'll-
think. But
like a
there's
wine
a-
tasting.
there's a
yeah,
lot to
but just so
tell.
you know, we missed our flight out of Reykjavik, and as it turns out, they'll rent you a Cessna for next to nothing.
Sure.
And as it also turns out, in Iceland, they can't tell the difference between an American pilot's license and an American driver's license.
Sure.
So,
Matt made a convincing case.
still, Matt can fly. Well, he can take off.
He got it off the ground.
It's
that
not
alone is
super
impressive,
complicated.
I think.
I'll be honest with you
Yeah.
guys. It was
But, Matt, there is no
Microsoft
autopilot,
Flight
or
Sim-
rather,
We know that now.
Yeah.
I thought it looked like
We all saw Airplane,
It
right?
really
Matt?
looked
Yeah.
like
Yeah, we
it.
said-
It looked like a button that had every business being autopilot.
It was the cigarette lighter, wasn't it?
Yeah. No, okay, other things we learned. There's not a bathroom on a Cessna. And there's only so much urine the one bucket we had would hold.
True.
There was a lot of
So-
sloshing. I mean, it was bumpy. It was bumpy air.
Well, we're in a fucking snowstorm.
But, okay, we're all professionals.
Yeah.
We're doing a show.
Matt wouldn't whiz in the bucket. There's the fucking problem. If you just whizzed in the goddamn
I was
bucket.
shy. All right.
He doesn't share buckets.
I would. All you guys were around me. I was shy.
God, so you hung your dick out the fucking window of a moving plane, and now we're all gonna die. But
Wait a minute,
The
wait a minute.
screams
Rum
were
is
incredible.
awesome.
And that's your damn fault for not rolling up the window behind me. That was
Okay, I heard something. Is that
atomization. Is what
that
that's
the
called.
sound of the Bjork wolf howling?
Yeah,
The Bjork. Oh God. Oh God, no.
That's a 7-hit dice creature.
it's got that hit point stuff.
So
Wild.
the drink
Yeah, we'll be
tonight.
fine.
So wait, but I blacked out for a second there. So what happened after Matt Shaw pissed out the window? Was that?
That's when we crashed.
I think
Oh, okay.
that's when I
we smashed.
that's when I
where
blacked
the
out, too.
wreckage You're surrounded with.
Oh, okay.
That's when Matt
That's
Shaw
why we're
blacked
all
out as well.
outside now, Andy.
Oh, thank God. I thought I was responsible somehow.
We didn't.
No,
Oh no!
no.
Yeah.
Oh no!
No,
that was a
wasn't
great
it.
time
Usually
to
when I
black
black
out.
out, it means I did something wrong.
Yeah.
So hey, we are going to do a show, and if you're home on Christmas Eve and someone has found this recorder and has uploaded it, as our last requests are, we're drinking the hot buttered rum. And it's a damn good thing the fuselage is still burning because, it's a very Christmassy drink, very holiday drink. And,
What's the story on hot buttered rum?
All right, I'll tell you the
Regale us
story.
with tales.
Let me tell you the
like-
story
Tastes like Christmas in a tailpipe.
of
Yeah.
Sir Hot Buttered Rum
Yes, sir. Hot buttered rum.
of Drunken Vale, who
The
used
Drunken
to
Vale rums.
gallop around the countryside impaling sober peasants on his drunken lance. No, here's the deal. So, hot buttered rum is this. It is rum, hot, and butter.
Yeah.
Yay! Ingredients. But no. Basically, you take some, about 2 ounces of rum, dark rum. Take 4 ounces of boiling water. And the traditional recipe, which is bullshit, is, as they used to say in the old cocktail books, a lump of butter the size of a chestnut.
Nobody
Or-
knows.
I don't know what chestnut size
There's
is.
texicle, but no one knows how big either of those things are.
It's about a half.
So,
It's about a half coconut.
it's about a half. No, you
Have a coconut. Jesus Christ.
Jesus,
That's
no.
like 4 sticks of butter.
Yeah.
You're packing it
a
in
chunk
there.
of butter about the size of your fist.
Yeah, but here's what you're supposed to do. You make some hot buttered rum batter.
Yeah, that's
Which
right.
sounds
Therm was-
dirty.
Yeah.
Butter batter.
Hot buttered rum batter.
Yeah.
Butter rum
Which
batter.
is
Therm-made batter.
in the days of post Weinstein. Don't say that to a coworker. And basically,
Isn't
it's
it funny how the Weinstein thing fucks up all our jokes now?
yeah. Well, fortunately, we have no coworkers.
Yeah.
None of us are in charge of anything.
I know.
Right.
You need a 4-ounce stick of butter, 8 ounces of brown sugar, and 1.5 tablespoons of pumpkin pie spice. Store bought or
Oh, that's
make
what
your
that
own.
is.
Yeah.
And now here's what the instructions say: cream, butter, and sugar together. Stop right there. Already.
Wait, is cream a verb in that
Someone's-
sentence?
Yeah. Someone's making a call to HR at that.
Speaking of which, Therm,
Quick question. Pumpkin spice, to make that at home, do you take a pumpkin pie and just grate it?
Yeah.
Is that how it works?
yeah, like cheese.
Well, if
Large
you want to do
grater
it the
pits.
old-fashioned way, yeah, like the pioneers used to.
Beverage Farm, remember?
But you want to know the history of the hot buttered rum?
Yes.
It's not very interesting.
Okay.
But
It
we'll-
smells really
What
good.
else are we doing here?
Yeah. What else we
Yeah.
got to do?
It's
So here's
delicious.
the
Yeah,
deal.
exactly.
Once upon a time, the idea of putting butter into drinks goes way back. It actually goes back.
At what point did it stop?
Nobody puts butter
Yeah.
in anything. Like, there's no hot buttered gin.
Hot
Like-
buttered gin.
Or or a
Not
hot
yet,
buttered
Dave.
Pabst.
Not yet.
Yeah.
There's no hot buttered Pabst. There's
God.
There's no hot buttered Goldschlager.
Hot buttered Zima.
There
I
is
wish
that.
we still had Zima.
Come on, you were in
Zima.
college once. Of
Hot
course there's
butter
hot
for
Zima.
loco.
Oh,
Depends on
God.
where you went
Yeah.
to college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hot buttered Bartles and James. You don't see it. You just don't see it.
No, you don't. By the way,
flavor.
easier to butter
You would-
easier to butter Bartles than it is to butter James.
Amen. That's a hashtag
Yeah,
for
yeah.
2018.
Hashtag butter Bartles.
So adding
Martin
butter,
Bartle.
adding butter to drink.
James can eat a fucking dick.
Oh fuck James! What the fuck did that guy do? James would walk into the office every day, put a thumb up his ass, and stare out the
yeah.
window. That
Olive-
was James' contribution.
Olive
right?
oil in a pan, you sissy.
Fuck you, James.
Fuck you, James.
No,
Serious
seriously, I'm not gonna
No.
step off from this.
No, this is
Fuck
going to
James.
be the rest of the
All
show.
right.
Yeah.
Bartles was carrying him. Everyone knew that. Nobody
Yeah.
said anything.
Yeah.
Everyone protected James. I mean,
James
Bartles
was like the Art Garfunkel of fucking shitty wine,
Fuck
of
that.
wine coolers. James
He
couldn't
was
do
the
shit.
fucking
James-
Andrew Ridgely. of
There we
Yeah.
go. I was
There,
trying
that's
to.
what it
Thank
was.
you.
Nice.
See,
That is
still
correct.
get your chops.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
music editor for
Yeah.
hire.
Yeah. Why'd they let me go?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Look how good
I
you
have
are.
Wham
I can't wait
references
to
at my
listen to the
fingertips.
two of you bitch about work. This is
Yes.
gonna
Yeah,
be
this is
great.
gonna be segment 2. It's gonna be awesome.
Look
so,
at my friend
If
Andy
we make it
shine.
that long.
But no, yeah, butter to drinks goes back to the days of Henry VIII. This is according to David
Jesus.
Wondrich in his Imbibe book,
A good
where you
man.
find one Andrew Ward. He talked about buttered beer or ale. As
Really?
A remedy, as a remedy for hoarseness.
Hoarseness.
Yeah, so there was a whole bunch of buttered ale,
Which means
and they
to
would add
feel
sugar
like
and
a horse.
cinnamon and all that good shit. So that happened, and then also other people point out the fact that rum became a big deal around 1655 when
Right.
the British captured Jamaica.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
And the British just took some shit and pointed some rifles at some brown people and took their rum. So, but
else is
rum
new?
became so popular that what happened was even
White people
colonists-
really get all their vice at gunpoint, don't they?
pretty
Yeah.
much. Yeah,
That is true.
Most of the white man's vices
Yeah.
were originated at gunpoint.
Yeah. Hey, that looks fun.
Yeah.
Give it to me.
Yeah, let's have that.
yeah.
It's mine now.
Yeah.
But American colonists began importing rum, and then they
Because Jesus.
Because Jesus.
yeah. So the colonists started making their own molasses, so they could make their own rum. So they were like,
Yeah.
once they got a taste of this dark sugar water of the gods, they
What's
started
the
making
boot?
their
Why?
own.
What makes it bootstrap?
I don't know.
You mean
that's another
blackstrap?
Blackstrap?
rum.
Blackstrap molasses?
Yeah.
I think that's like the shittiest.
Try not
kind
to say
of the
anything
molasses.
racist right now. If you
All right,
can.
I'll do the best I can.
Thank
I learned
you.
I learned
Appreciate it.
learned a fun bit of American history trivia recently though. John Hancock, we all familiar with John Hancock? He was a rum runner.
He was a rum runner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why he was important to he basically financed the American Revolution by smuggling rum.
Yes, that's right.
Nice.
Because that was their fucking problem with all the taxes.
Yep.
Is because actually it's funny
And-
because I was
and-
reading something recently about how essentially most of the underpinnings of the American Revolution were the black market was sustaining most everybody.
Yeah,
at that
that's right.
point. And the
And-
taxation came in. That's what they were trying to do. Is all the taxes were essentially trying to fuck up all the vice game
That's right.
that everybody was
There's
running
a
back
there's
then.
a contingent of historians who think that the Boston Tea Party was actually probably
Oh,
the
yeah.
Boston Rum Party.
Yeah.
And it was
Nice,
just and it was
nice.
just whitewashed.
Yeah,
you
no,
can
all of
understand
that-
it.
all of
That's a
that's-
party.
Well, because that's the thing too. You got to realize rum and all that shit was a lot easier to get from the Caribbean than with the way shit was going back and forth across the Atlantic.
Right.
So stuff coming from Canada and coming from the Caribbean was where they were getting all their shit to make fucking booze and vice, and the idea of being able to sell stuff on the black market was much more profitable than what was going on, trying to live as a fucking colony.
Question.
Yeah.
Will
Yeah.
any of this trivia save our lives?
No,
No. All right. So
Probably
moving
no,
on.
we're just trying to improve the quality of the last hour of your life. We're going
learn
to take your mind off the inevitability of your own horrible death from exposure.
Let me ask
You're
you
fucking
something.
welcome.
Are you
I guess we gotta leave Rico alive because he's the one that has any sort of culinary pedigree.
Is that right? No, Andy's got some.
At this point,
No, I think-
at this point now, brunch really is hell because when the sun comes up tomorrow,
All right, I gotta get through
I
this
will be
because if we
brunch.
don't get to the second segment, we're gonna die.
We're
Yeah.
gonna
Make
freeze
the
to
end of
death
the
out
show.
here.
Yep.
So Dickens mentions
I like-
Dickens mentions in the 18th century.
Fuck
Dickens
that
mentions
guy.
it You just don't like anything with Dick in it. Dickens mentions the hot buttered rums in a couple of his books. Hard Times, the book Hard Times, Mrs. Bounderby suggests to Mrs. Sparsit. Oh, by the way, there are 2 more fucking British names than
Bounderby
Mr.
and
Bounderby and
Sparsit?
Mrs. Sparsit.
No, I think Dickens
I
invented
shouldn't be
all
a wreck
British
right
names.
now, right?
You should. You are. And she enjoys some scalding rum and butter to pick up her spirits. All right, whatever. So there was some of that. And actually, so it sounds disgusting, the hot buttered rum, right?
It does.
But it's still
I will
fucking
say
It's delicious. I'm really
of
enjoying mine.
The last couple years of the drinks,
Christmassy
we've been having,
drinks?
the Christmas drinks, because last year was
By
the
far
Dickens
the best.
punch.
Yeah.
That
Dickens
just
punch
tasted like cholera.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then the year before that, we had the wassail,
Which was like drinking an omelet.
which
It was like-
It was
the wassail,
way worse
It was like
than that.
it was like drinking an omelet that had been eaten by a dog and then come back up.
Yeah.
Plus apples.
And apples.
All right, so a guy in the 1948. So the hot buttered rum began to fall into disrepute. So even in 1948, a guy named David Emery, author of The Fine Art of Mixing Drinks, complained about the hot buttered rum, and he said the lump of butter is the final insult. It blends with the hot rum just about as satisfactorily as warm olive oil blends with champagne.
Fuck
Oh,
that
God.
guy.
He's not totally wrong.
I think he's completely wrong. I think the butter is part of the best
Butter
part of
works
this.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's,
Delicious.
it's
Buttered
buttery as hell. How much
Yeah.
Ferm, how much butter do you think is in one of these? Like, how much
get
butter
them
am
on
I
microphone.
eating in this drink right now? Or glass?
In that, since it's 2 parts sugar, 1 part butter, 2 tablespoons.
What's a part?
About a tablespoon of butter per drink.
Per drink?
Per motion.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lord.
Wow.
And
The
I'll tell you
key-
this. Oh.
The
That's
key
that's
is
a
mixing
decent
it.
amount of
If you
butter.
just throw the batter on top, then it just will kind of pull and collect stuff.
What's in the batter?
It's due.
Explain the batter to these people.
I said this already.
He said it already.
Oh,
yeah.
but-
I've already
It's
forgotten.
butter, sugar, and
okay.
spices.
Yeah, I don't know. I was only going to take
Grated
Therm
pumpkin
seriously.
pie.
I know. Yeah, there's no reason.
And you
But the
cream
key
it.
is you put some water in the mug,
Uh-huh.
put the batter in, and then really mix that up well.
Right.
Then add the rum and then some more water until you have it like where you want it.
All right.
Yeah.
There
And
you go,
I'll-
kids.
And I'll tell you too, there's a version of this that I found online that also adds to the batter vanilla ice cream, which would make
That
this-
would be legit.
It would be
That is
delicious.
creamed
Then it wouldn't be so
vanilla
hot,
ice.
though.
No, it would.
That's true.
Yes, you're right.
The
Now-
other thing, by the way, this
Yeah.
stuff is awesome in coffee.
I can
Oh, the
see
butter.
that.
The
I can-
leftover, yeah,
I
just
can
the
see
batter
that.
in
The batter?
coffee.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of milk to lighten it.
Well,
but
if we
it's
ever
really
make
good.
it back to civilization, that's going to be the first
gonna
thing
use
I
that.
do.
Yeah, I mean,
try
it doesn't
that.
help us.
No.
But for everyone
It's
else,
too late for us.
We'll
On the
just
plus
slow
side,
the-
whoever we're about to eat is going to be nice and buttery.
Yeah.
Oh, God,
It's
I don't.
gonna
I don't think
add
we should
some
be firm.
richness. I
And,
think.
and just
I
the
think
sweats
we've
from
al-
that we're brining right now. and
Yeah.
These
Yeah.
MDMA sweats.
I think we've eliminated Therm for people we can eat because he's going to do a great job.
Oh, the
cooking
Therm's
that.
cooking one of us.
Oh, I
Like,
know.
to be sure.
Also, don't ask what I milked to get the butter.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. So, one last thing
now I'm
I'll
sad.
say.
Yeah.
In my research, a lot of people ran across people saying the hot buttered rum, also known as the hot toddy. That's horseshit.
Yeah,
not
I was gonna
true.
say
No,
that's
that's
not true.
not
yeah.
true.
Yeah.
A hot toddy is something else entirely.
Of course.
There's no butter. There's no batter. There's
No
lemon
rum.
in it. There's no rum.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
anyone who says a hot butter, now granted,
It's hot alcohol in a mug. I think it stops there.
Yeah.
This-
now,
It's hot water,
it's
alcohol, and some lemon,
Yeah, it might
and
be
honey.
the bastard child of the hot toddy, but it is not a hot toddy.
This is a trend. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention, but this is a trend I've seen lately, and I'm not going to take too much time on this. 35, 40 minutes tops.
Yeah.
But there is a whole new trend of bartenders who say that they're bartenders who don't know what the hell they're talking about. There have been Lola
That
posted
is a
something
hot
like
trend.
this on
It's
the.
been a trend for
I think
decades
that's,
in
I think
America.
that's across multiple professions.
No, I've
at
heard
this
stories
point.
of people going into bars and ordering a black and tan and getting Guinness and cider. And the bartender swearing, "No, this is a black and tan." I've had similar situations with
That's a snake bite, but not with
that's a snake bite.
Yeah.
Exactly. A black and tan
I mean,
is
you
lager.
can't just pull out your phone
No.
that is the internet and say, "Here is what the
I
world
think
says."
it's a result of bartenders turning into mixologists. So all of a
yeah.
sudden now you have somebody who just had
maybe
read
she-
something
maybe
on the
Sports
internet and they're an
onto
expert.
something
But a
with the
real
phone.
mixologist, I
Because
gotta
that's
say,
how they got the job. They Googled
Mixologist
a
isn't a
couple
word.
drinks.
It's
But
bartender.
no, it's not a
Whether
word.
you're a
It's
bartender
not
or
a
you're
word,
not.
but a real mixologist would give a shit. Like someone who actually would like have the balls to call himself a
A
mixologist.
bartender would give a shit.
Is someone who like actually would like there's this generation of assholes who like
Does Sturm
started
count as a
about 10 years
mixologist? Are
ago.
you a mixologist, Sturm?
He's mix
You
master.
said it before. I'm a kid with a chemistry set.
That's true.
He's a mixed
Yeah,
master.
I was gonna
He's a mixed
say,
master.
So, but no, there is a generation
With
that
booze.
started after Wondrich, honestly, of just like I'm gonna learn these fucking age-old. I'm gonna
Yeah.
fucking take this shit seriously. And honestly, anyone who would serve you a snake bite kind of and call
Yeah,
it
yeah.
call it a black
and
tan is
and
an
with a
asshole.
straight and say that you're wrong. No, this is a
Yeah.
this is a
Shotgun
black and tan.
contrarian.
I'm saying
Shotgun
as much
contrarian.
as you hate the term mixologist, I don't think we can pin this problem on that.
Okay,
No, I think
fair
it's
enough.
saying-
I think
No,
it's
there's
the
a
opposite.
lot of shit
can-
we're going to pin on Matt in the next
Yeah.
90
Yeah.
minutes
I think
to
it's-
4 hours. That's
But-
not going to be one of them.
I think this is the trumpeting of America. I think it's just it's people who don't know what the fuck they're talking about now double down on what they don't know what the
exactly.
fuck
What's
they're
that
talking
term?
about.
What's
Yeah,
that
it's-
effect?
Kruger.
The Dunning-Kruger effect, where you don't
Dunning-Kruger.
know
What you don't know.
you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Matt, I will say this: like, as bad as that is happening in bars, it's worse people writing about booze on the internet.
Oh, Christ,
and
it's gotta
even
be.
worse people talking about
Galliano
booze
is
in
going to pull
podcasts.
is going to
Yeah.
reference his own book right
Yeah,
now.
Present
you know,
company accepted.
Live
You know,
reading.
who's not going to plug a book on this podcast? Not me.
Yeah.
I happen to have written about mixology on page 105 of my new book,
Let's-
Brunch is Hell.
Oh, let's hear it.
available on
Brunch is
Little
Hell.
Brown.
Yeah.
And it says thusly.
Wait, who's the publisher?
We prefer Little Brown.
Okay.
We prefer this term to the I prefer the term cocktailian to the popular mixologist. Mixologist seems a more appropriate descriptor of an organic chemist or a dub reggae DJ, whereas cocktailian not only has the word cocktail right in it, it also kind of has the word alien, which if you've ever seen a cocktailian in full steampunk gear trying and failing to hold a conversation with a normal earthling during daylight hours is entirely apt. End quote.
Chapter
Nice.
verse.
$25.
Wow. Damn right.
Good
Amazon.
Pick it on up.
Amazon.
Brunch is Hell by
York
Rico
Wolves are howling,
Galliano
it
and
must be
Brendan
true.
Francis Noonan.
Yeah.
So, all this talk about cocktailians reminds
Thank
me
you.
of a quote from one of our founding fathers.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh. It was Hamilton. It was the musical one, right?
No,
Yeah.
no, it wasn't Alexander Hamilton.
I really enjoyed that.
Was
I
it?
can't believe that guy Hamilton tickets.
No,
was
not
it-
yet. I haven't.
You have Hamilton tickets? All right, never mind that.
They still make compact discs?
Stop it! Stop it!
Please don't let the last conversation I
I
ever hear be about Hamilton.
I saw something rotten
Who's
the
the
other
guy
night.
who was in Sea Hunt?
Sea Airwolf?
No,
Sea cunt?
no,
Ernest
it's not.
Borgnine.
It's not Ernest Borgnine.
It's Ernest-
There it is.
Jan
Borg-
Michael-
It might have been
Jan-
Jan Michael
Michael
Vincent.
Benjamin fucking Franklin. Let no pleasure tempt thee, no profit allure thee, no persuasion move thee to do anything which thou knowest to be evil. So shalt thou always live jollity, for a good conscience is a continual Christmas. So anyway,
That was one of my favorite parts of Hamilton.
I love it.
all right,
That's what won at the Tony.
we're going to take a break while we boil our own urine to get some water.
Oh, and also the
You know,
ecstasy
we
will
can-
recycle itself if we keep drinking our urine.
We can,
really?
we
That's
can,
true.
we can
Yeah, you
boil
don't-
the
you don't-
snow.
Wait, what?
We can boil the snow. We don't.
What?
Now you tell us.
When did
Hey, where were you you 2 hours ago.
I've been
Jesus.
recycling this ecstasy urine about. I'm on the 4th pass.
Yeah.
I'm not changing my process now.
Don't switch horses midstream.
You are listening to the Army of Drunks Talking Funny podcast, Death Knell, and here's some fake ads.
Yeah,
We'll be right
while we go
back.
drink some more pee.
We'll come right back. Hang on.
Michael, it's Susan. Are you going to be home tonight? Well, I'd like to leave a little something under your tree. Around 8? See you then.
A few years ago, I wouldn't have dreamed of inviting myself over to Michael's place. People would have said it wasn't respectable. But times have changed. And when you're giving him Harvey's Bristol Cream, it's more than respectable. It's downright upright.
Harvey's Bristol Cream for the holidays.
Hey everybody, this is the last you're going to hear about Patreon from me this episode, but hey, if you go to patreon.com/armyofdrunks, you can donate to our little dog and pony show, and we just want to thank everyone who did donate this year. At different levels, you get stuff. You get a clown sent to your home who will punch you in the face. That's a very high level. But at other levels, you get your name read on the air, like one Mr. David Alexandru of Victoria, Australia. This man is a hero. You too could beat a hero. Be a hero, not beat a hero. Go to patreon.com/armyofdrunks. Okay, back to the show.
And we're still here.
We're still alive.
We are.
Everyone count your fingers because you can lose that with frostbite.
I counted.
This ecstasy says I have 12 fingers. We're fine.
You're
fine.
ahead of all of us.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I got 8, so we're good.
Okay.
So, hey, you're listening to the Army of Drunks Talking Funny podcast experience. This is Christmas special. I hope you're shut in with no friends. Because
Merry Christmas,
that's the best way to
everybody.
listen to this.
Yes.
And I think this may be our last night on Earth, and we're okay with that. I'm losing feeling.
We all
in
had
one
a
of my
good
legs.
run.
By the
Should be
way,
fine.
the jingle bell you're hearing in the background, there's a jingle bell.
It's stuck on the goddamn prop.
Yeah,
I can't
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we had brought it to do the show because we always
it was
have the
gonna be-
jingle bell.
It's going to be festive.
But when we slammed into the fucking snowbank here,
I see.
apparently
Yeah,
it got
everything-
stuck on that one
That's
prop
snow-
that's
See,
sticking
it's
up
Like,
there.
it sounds like a Lars von Trier movie trying to be jolly. It's like horrible.
Yeah.
I thought it was
Yeah.
just like a fat house beat or
Yeah.
something. Jingle
we were
core.
gonna do.
Jingle core.
Jingle cord.
God damn it, jingle core.
Jingle step.
Yeah, jingle cord. Oh, by the way, you know where the the most secure place to store information on the web is now?
Where?
LiveJournal.
Nobody.
Just take all your password. Oh, here, take all your passwords and your bank information.
No one looks
or,
at that.
here's another good place. The Facebook event invite for your next show is also a fantastic place to put all your banking information, your social security number.
They'll never
Just
find
put
it.
it on. Here's my next event. By the way, here's all the routing info and the checking account number for my bank. No one's ever going to see it. Let me just
Please
solve-
RSVP, you guys.
Yeah,
Please,
I can solve
someone.
internet security for you right now.
We with us tonight. With us
Hello.
tonight. Spork, are you bleeding?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm fine. I'm fine.
You're bleeding
It's just a flesh
from
wound.
your head.
It's fine.
The head wounds bleed a lot.
yeah.
I can.
They do.
It looks worse than it is. I'm pretty sure.
It looks like your scalp is sort of flapping.
It's
in the
okay.
wind.
It's
Yeah.
okay. I'm fine. Thanks.
Okay.
I think I saw some tape,
Don't-
some packing tape around here somewhere.
Is that all right? No, not my problem.
Stop
Okay.
embarrassing her, for God's sake.
I just. With us tonight is two people who have lost their jobs recently.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too.
And
Not
Happy to
doing
be
anything
anywhere.
else.
Yeah.
Introduce yourselves, why don't you, so people know your voices.
I'm Andy. Andy Herman. I am the former music editor of LA Weekly.
Oh, yeah, then there's me, Rico Galliano, co-creator and former co-host of the Dinner Party Download, canceled as of December 1st.
Yeah. And you have a
Yes.
book out called Brunch is Hell.
I do have a book out. I do have a really... Because you know what makes more money than public radio is literature. So I decided to jump right into that big money market and put
Well,
out a book called Brunch
you
is
were
Hell.
also on Marketplace, right?
I used to be on Marketplace long ago. Yeah, that's right. You'd think I would have learned how to
Right.
earn something.
All about
What's the guy?
What
what's
were
the guy
your
Steve-
takeaways from that job, Rico?
Clearly zero takeaways.
Yeah.
I learned
What's
nothing.
is it Steve Inskeep?
No, that'd be Kai Ryssdal.
Kai Ryssdal. Do you know what's funny is when you listen to it, like Rico kind of sounds like Kyle Ryssdal on the radio. Like there's a timbre to the voice. Have you ever stood in for him?
I have not.
Yeah.
I have not. Although we did have on our very last show that we taped, which was taped live in Seattle. By the way, this was before the Garrison Keillor revelations were made. The joke of the show was, since we're going off the air and we have nothing left to lose, we should tell all of the dirty secrets of public radio. And one of them was that Kai Ryssdal was a former porn star. And my co-host goes, "That's not true." And I'm like, "I know, but just listen to him." And we had him go, we had actual tape of Kai Ryssdal going, "This is Marketplace." and then the music went, instead of like, and the audience was like, "Ah!"
They ate that shit up, didn't they?
We were like, "You know what I'm talking about. You could put that music next to anything the man says." Let's do the numbers.
Let's do the fuck out of the numbers.
Let's do them, Kai.
Yeah. Yes. So which of the two of you has a better story of finding out how you got fired?
I had found out long before Andy.
Yeah.
But we ended up, our jobs ended at about the same time.
I mean, my boss likened it at the LA Weekly to the Red Wedding. So
yeah,
I don't know
I've heard that.
If that means that I have the better story because there was more bloodshed.
More blood equals better for sure.
For everyone who's listening, just what happened?
Yeah.
So the LA Weekly was sold. We were previously owned by a company called Voice Media Group, but they were, despite their many faults, a legitimate media chain. They own several alt weeklies around the country, but they've been sort of gradually selling them off because alt weeklies don't make money anymore.
Except for the porn and weed ads in the back.
Except for the porn and weed ads in the back. And they announced earlier this year that they were going to put the LA Weekly up for sale, and they finally found a buyer. And they announced that they had found a buyer, but we weren't allowed to know anything about who the buyers were. The buyers were shrouded in secrecy. It was this company, it was this
so you
shell.
Were all thinking, maybe it's George Clooney.
We didn't know. It was this shell company called Seminal. LLC,
it's
Seminal.
Got semen in the name.
Well, Seminal is the Spanish word for
semen, I think,
for weekly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right, that too.
So for a while we thought that maybe we gotten bought by
someone cool,
by Oi or something like that, and then we found out that their attorney was a famous pot lawyer. So we thought maybe we were bought by like Weed Maps or someone like that, and then there was all sorts of rumor. Well, it turns out we were basically bought by a bunch of conservative libertarian Orange County dickheads.
A bunch of lawyers.
It's one step above
the worst possible people you could have been.
I suppose it's one step above being bought by Stormfront. That would be like, dude, guys, we got bought by Stormfront.
Yeah. So anyway, they came in and they proceeded to lay off 9 of the 13 editorial staff. Yes, it's true. It only took 13 people to put out the LA Weekly.
Jesus,
it showed.
Now it's even less than that. Thank you.
No, I thought I don't know that you needed more people.
We were kind of a skeleton crew, but we managed to put out. I like to think a pretty good publication. You can't open a car door in this town without hitting somebody who's like, I remember the Weekly back in the day when it had integrity and
it's
was
our village
thicker
boys.
and had more porn ads.
Yeah. We were all
but anyway, the new.
Did you come in and they were like, hey, everybody here that thinks they still have a job, raise your hand. Not so fast, all of you.
Yeah. No, they actually called us in one by one. To tell us whether we could stay or go.
Because they love to tell people so much. They're like, let's do it as many times as possible.
And I don't
savor each one of
these.
I
don't know what number I was, but anyway. But afterwards, we all went to the nearest bar and drank. And
like you do.
I have a question.
What time of the day was it?
Like mid-afternoon.
All right, perfect. So
yeah.
So it was not like the owners or like not like they brought in
this
Alec Baldwin came in and said, "All right, you assholes."
No,
they didn't do it with a kicky
Alt journalism
show.
is for closers.
That would have been awesome, but no. To this day, I have yet to have any direct communication with any of the new owners whatsoever.
Of course you're not. That's not how they roll.
What do we know about the new owners? I don't want to skip you ahead.
They've revealed themselves through various interviews, and one of them, their sort of head guy is a guy.
They're like
named
the wind. You
Brian
can't see them, but you see their work.
Yeah, no, their head guy is a guy named Brian Kaye, who is sort of the only journalist in the group, if you could call him a journalist. He was the opinions editor for the Southern California News Group, which is a newspaper chain, the head of which is Orange County Register, but they also
he's a
own.
dick.
Right.
He's famous for, among other things, writing op-eds explaining why Putin was well within his rights to invade Crimea.
Holy shit, these people are
No, the
fucking...
Register is a pretty conservative.
He also wrote an editorial saying that NFL cheerleaders should not be paid like regular employees because they get such great perks, like getting to hang out with millionaire NFL players all the time.
Oh my God!
At any rate, the one thing that has sort of softened the blow in all of this is booze, but also the fact that the new owners, since they've taken over, have proven themselves to be spectacularly incompetent.
Yeah, no one saw that coming.
At running an alt weekly.
Well, didn't they immediately, or I think this actually happened, they immediately ran an ad looking
it's
for
the
free
best.
contributors.
Yeah.
Yes,
But it gets even better.
They wanted,
And they misspelled Angelino.
they asked for free Angelinos. They misspelled the word Angelino.
Yep.
They spelled it like Angeline, the chick on
and
the...
they used.
I wish that would have at least shown
That
some
would have been
class.
clever.
They used a sort of Shutterstock image of like
Right.
like
People staring at their phones.
yeah,
if I
millennials
remember it.
on their devices, and it sort of said, hey, want to contribute to LA? Used to be a
Could
good.
you write an
Probably
article
will
on your
pay you.
phone?
Right.
You're hired.
Right. But it's rough, and they last week they announced that they're appointing the one staff writer that they kept is now the acting editor in chief.
And you don't don't even have to answer this question like on anything, but did they push you out gently? I know you didn't get a golden parachute, but did they at least
we got a little severance.
you could raid whatever was in the office supplies closet for
but no,
5 minutes?
Anybody need any Post-its? I got a car full of Post-its.
we had a union, and as I understand it, most of the severance I got was because
Of the
the
union.
previous owner was honoring the union agreement. Because I know some folks who were not in the union didn't get as much severance as I did.
One of the things I love about LA is one of the last union towns.
Yeah.
Well, at the risk of leading this whole conversation down like a union rabbit hole, it's worth mentioning that one of the theories for why they fired pretty much the entire editorial staff. We don't know this. I don't know this because I haven't talked to anyone, and they would never admit it. But
This is what you guys thought came up with at the bar.
But we had a union, and they got rid.
How the libertarians love those.
It was a small union, but they got rid of exactly the number of union members that they needed in order to dissolve the union.
That sounds so incredibly plausible.
Oh,
yeah.
That is like some American...
Wait a minute. Are you
and-
telling me that the libertarian conservatives, who many of whom donated to the Trump campaign, would try to break a union?
Can you believe it?
Weird.
Right.
Come on,
Shocking.
you guys.
Yeah,
We're talking real now.
But but this is sort of. I feel like this is. I'm gonna get on my soapbox here for a second.
That's
so
what
bear
this
with me.
entire segment is for.
But I think kind of one of the untold stories in like a lot of the
now is going to be all of them.
the setbacks that have happened in media this year. A lot of it has been union busting, and I think a lot of people don't realize that. But
you guys are the air traffic controllers of the new millennium.
We are. I mean, it's. I mean, a lot of people maybe don't know Gothamist got shut down earlier this year, which was also LAist
and all that.
and there was they had a new conservative owner. They were in the process of trying. They hadn't even formed a union yet. They were just talking about unionizing.
No, dude,
and
this
he shut down the entire chain of websites.
If
at
you
a,
think
at a
for 1 minute
one shot.
that this
was crack
isn't
part of that?
directly traceable to Donald Trump and the notion of Trumpism and the Steve Bannon and the coming straight, because these people are this is the thing, for all their appeal to the slack-jawed yokels of middle America, these are urbane people. Let's not forget, Steve Bannon worked on Seinfeld. Donald Trump is a show business product. They understand the value of Gothamists and LA Weekly. If you think for one fucking minute that this is not a direct target to go after the people, because here's the thing that sticks in their fucking craw, the thing that sticks in Donald Trump's craw and Steve Bannon's craw is they were never in the fucking cool kids club here. As much as they wanted to be taken,
I wasn't in the cool kids club.
you're still not. None of us are.
Well, that's my point.
The difference
And you
is
too can be president.
the difference is it's
Holy
because
shit.
we have talent and we give a shit. Like, these are people that were trying to, like, wanted to be in show business, wanted to be a part of the conversations that happen, things like the Gothamists and happen in LA.
Right.
But all we've done in those mediums is shit on these people, and with good reason.
Right.
And I absolutely believe that this is part of a larger revenge scheme for these people.
Oh, of course.
No, I think that's true. I mean, it sounds. I don't want to get into
It's
like.
not even conspiratorial.
No, it's
like,
not. It's
nakedly out in broad daylight.
No, it's strategic. I mean, I mean, a lot of the Brian Kaye and some of his cohorts among the new LA Weekly ownership are part of this thing called the Claremont Institute. I think I'm getting that right.
That sounds conspiratorial. That sounds like the type that.
And one of their stated aims, and this is like it's on the web. Anybody can read it. Is to defeat progressivism.
Yeah.
By they don't explicitly say taking over the media, but basically they say by sort of producing enough kind of conservative and libertarian intellectuals and thought leaders and writers, and
that must tie into like Sinclair.
Yeah.
By the way, the Washington City paper is also being the guy that's considering buying them is also a right winger.
Of course.
About to turn these.
So Spork, you're bleeding more than you were before.
It's fine.
I think those are tears. Those are tears of sadness.
Can you see out of your left eye?
I can see out of one eye is fine. I don't need two eyes.
Okay, I'm just saying. Are you hallucinating?
I feel
at all?
great.
Great.
Because like the entire
she took a lot of
it's like you look like someone out of Braveheart. The entire one side of your face is like painted
Fan of
like,
the opera.
War.
Don't freak her
And
out.
it's not. Here's the thing. I keep rubbing my finger in it just to check, and it's not congealing at all.
Oh,
No, it's just
okay.
Just running.
All right, and by the way,
pack some snow in there.
Matt,
Yes.
I think your penis fell off.
No, that was
Oh, and by the way, it's your turn to empty the piss bucket.
that was somebody else's.
All right.
I've got a question as far
hold
as
on.
from
Just
the
stop.
readers
I wanna
from
hear-
the reader's point of view. We'll just circle it back around, and we're going to hit this one more. Just to wrap it up. From the reader's point of view, what is going to replace LA Weekly? Is somebody? I mean, because that was they offered a legitimate publication, a good publication that a lot of people in Los Angeles liked, and now a lot of people in Los Angeles don't like. So is there like Time Out LA or
that is a legitimate question that I don't know. I mean, I think
something's got to fill that void.
Yeah, I mean, and especially I think LA lost too. I mean, LAist had a big following, and the Weekly. So
something.
I mean, I've been telling in terms of music, I've been telling people. I mean, there are still a number of good independent music publications in LA. So LA,
what's the best one?
Like what?
LA Record, I think,
Yeah,
is probably the best
Record
one.
Exchange.
Buzz Bands, Passion of the Weiss, which is run by one of our former columnists, a guy
I've never
named Jeff
heard of
Weiss.
any of these, and I'm in this business.
I know that's the thing. I mean, there's Grimy Goods is one. They mostly kind of do show listings. But anyway, but to finish the answer to Matt's question, no, I think as far as like what's going to replace the Weekly as a whole, like there kind of isn't anything right now, which is alarming. I mean, we're in the second biggest market in the United States, and
We have no
in terms of
paper.
in terms of local news coverage,
It's a vacuum.
there's a huge vacuum now. I
Guess
mean,
I-
Do you think that vacuum's
did
gotta-
you guys get drunk enough to anyone to go, you know what, we should start our own?
oh yeah, everybody keeps talking about that.
Yeah.
Nobody has any fucking money to do it.
Yeah.
But this is what is actually really surprising to me. Because basically what just happened was a whole bunch of rich people bought a newspaper. It
That was
up for
free.
sale.
Brought a free newspaper.
For not very much money, by
Exactly.
the way.
So where are the rich progressive people? I seriously want to know where
No,
the
and
rich progressive people
I
are.
totally agree with that. And
Where's the fuck is George Soros? Everybody
Look,
keeps
there-
saying George
you know what,
Soros
yeah.
is
Can
right
you go to
Jags.
Jeffrey Katzenberg and
I
just
hate
say
to-
LA needs a Weekly?
I
hate to
don't know
generalize.
Jeffrey Katzenberg.
But Buck has a really good point. Like, where is
Told
George
ya.
Soros? George
Yeah.
Soros is supposedly the guy that's funding the progressive movement.
I mean,
He's
never
got
mind-
billions of dollars.
never mind
This
George-
would have cost him $1 million.
That being said, this
It's
is the
Rico's
least
turn.
funny. Yes, this is the least funny segment we've had in a while, but it's the most interesting
Yes,
media.
and
So,
important.
Rico, you lost your job in an entirely different way.
And it wasn't a sex scandal. By
No.
the way, congratulations on being the only two people in American media right now that don't jerk off in front of your subordinates
Thank
and lose
you.
a job.
Round of
Thank
applause.
you.
You
Thanks,
lost
you
your
guys.
job the old-fashioned way.
Thanks, you guys.
My resume actually now has a line at the bottom. It says never took his dick out in front of fellow employees once.
It's amazing that.
But I'm open to
one
it.
needs to put that
I'm willing to learn.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually what's fascinating is that we were before Garrison Keillor lost his job, and before I don't know if you guys are familiar with Leonard Lopate. He was the Larry Mantle of WNYC. He was the beloved midday co-host of WNYC. He also just lost his job, public radio host, for the same reasons. John Hockenberry, the host of The Takeaway, which is another WNYC produced national public radio show, also lost for the same reasons. And we lost our jobs right before all that went down. And after all this other stuff went down, we started seeing people saying things like, yeah, it's making me think about, like, why did the dinner party download end?
Really? Oh my
God.
And we had to... Now, lucky for us, there was a whole press release that went out as to exactly why we were let go, which has
None of
everything
it
to
had
do...
anything to do
Which has
with
exactly
Rico
to do
pulling
with-
his bird out in front of an intern.
That should be.
I did not.
I didn't even. I hadn't even thought of that before then. But that's probably the best. The best evidence. The best thing to back you up is the fact that a room full of your friends, when hearing the idea of, hey, maybe Rico and Brendan,
that would never have happened.
Breaks into peals of laughter.
Yeah, that we erupted in
he's
laughter.
Thank you. Thanks, you guys. Thanks for the vote of confidence.
Yeah. Rico could never. He doesn't have it in to sexually harass somebody. You know, I mean,
He has a great dick for radio.
Not
that guy.
successful.
Oh, Aaron from the outside.
That is my.
Amazing.
That's gonna be my T-shirt.
Great dick for radio.
That's my
That's
T-shirt.
a fucking bumper sticker.
That would be a really good pledge drive gift.
Yeah.
Except
Put
not
that
for
on a fucking-
WNYC.
Put that on a tote bag.
KCRW, we have a great dick for radio. I'm Ruth Seymour.
Robert Seymour.
Wow, that's taking us back. But yeah, I actually have had to tweet links to the actual press release that says no, we were let go for money. Most of the time.
But you've been on for 10 years. You've been doing your
We were doing the podcast for 10 years. We were on the
radio
radio show for about 6 years.
So
It was radio.
your
for 6 years.
podcast is old enough to be hit on by Roy Moore.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Almost.
Your radio show.
And-
Not real terrestrial radio show.
I would say that I was just saying
Roy
this last
Moore
night.
wouldn't hit on a podcast. He's got standards.
No.
Question for you, though.
That's true.
Okay, so I did you start this podcast, which became a radio show, just so you could interview all of your pop culture heroes?
Sure.
Okay.
What the hell else would I do?
There
It's not
isn't
for the
another
money.
answer
Was
to
that-
that question.
was that
It's
ever
not for
in
the
question?
big public radio dollars.
Who was
that
the-
long public radio paper.
who was either the number one or maybe the top three, because it's probably hard to pick one, of the people who you sat in a room with asking questions and thought, I can't believe I'm in this
Steve
person."
Martin.
Okay.
Holy
Whoa.
shit.
Steve Martin.
Yeah.
Steve Martin,
do
definitely.
that.
Did
yeah.
he fart? What did he smell like? What did Steve Martin smell like?
He smelled
He
just
has to
like
smell great.
like a man, like a real man. No, actually, the thing I was afraid because I thought he was going to be this guy because especially at the time he has been doing nothing but his bluegrass tours, and I thought
Because
that
he
would
fucking can.
Well, but I was afraid to talk to him because I thought he wouldn't be funny. I thought he just wanted to talk about bluegrass music, and what's cool is that you can talk to Steve Martin with some fascinating shit about bluegrass music, and I had all these questions about his musical background and all this stuff, but he was totally willing to talk about comedy. And in fact, what was interesting about him was that he was into folk music back in the 60s and 70s, and it was like all folk shows back then were also comedy shows. They could be playing murder ballads, but in between they'd be telling hilarious stories.
Yeah,
for
well, that's
whatever
all.
reason.
It's vaudeville.
Yeah.
What was the interview that you were most excited to do and thought that was going to be awesome, and they turned out to be completely lame and unfun to talk to?
Oh man, I don't have great examples. I know who it is.
There we
then.
go.
Thanks. In that regard, I'm gonna drop her name though. Who was
That's
the
what we're
the
asking
gym
you to do.
teacher in? Oh Jesus, I
Oh,
can't
Anne
even.
Hesh. No.
No,
in Glee.
In Glee?
Yes, in Glee.
Yeah, there was also in Mighty Wind and all
Oh,
that.
yeah.
What's her name?
Third.
Jane Lynch.
Thank
Jane
you.
Lynch. Jane Lynch, who by the way was totally nice. I'm not saying
Yeah.
that. But you would think that Jane Lynch, oh my God, she's so acerbic and she's so funny and all her things. She's just
Saucy.
and she's very saucy and does all the stuff. And the 40-year-old virgin. She was, and we had her on for our etiquette segment, which is an opportune time for listeners send in these ridiculous questions about how to behave in public, and you'd think that she'd have all sorts of snarky things to say, and she answered them like completely straight.
Just deadpan.
She didn't do much of anything funny. She had a couple of little jokes here and there, and it was like, Jane Lynch, like,
She
we
looks
definitely
like one of
had
your
you on
mom's
here.
friends, and it probably acted like
I
it.
think
That's
her
kind of it.
I think
Yeah.
her deal is she's just really good at what she does.
She is. She's an actor. It turns
She's an
out.
actor, and so you're expecting her to be like one of her characters, and that's
She's not one of her characters.
No, she's
so
just
that was
really good at
disappointing.
doing any of those characters when you're talking to her as a person. Yeah.
One of my favorite things about being a writer, as opposed to having to do a radio show or a podcast, is usually when I'm doing interviews with people, like, we're just having a conversation.
Yeah.
You
Like,
can
it
go
just
back and make yourself and them sound cooler
It takes
later.
a ton of pressure off the situation. Like, I've done interviews where either like I knew it was for a Q&A, and so I knew that I was just going to be transcribing, and it was going to have to just be pithy without any context.
Well, who was your best interview? Who was the person you were like, wow, I can't believe I got to sit down with this person. They had a lot of really cool shit to say.
Best interview I ever did was probably Stuart Copeland from The Police.
Sweet.
Oh, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was a drummer when I was younger.
Because I got to go to his house,
that.
to his like private drum studio
Holy
in his
shit.
house in like Benedict Canyon, and just like hang out with him for like an hour and a half, and like
I would have,
just
like- I would
shoot
have,
the
like-
shit about this police documentary that he was putting out at the time, and
Man.
it was amazing, and he was
yeah.
super cool. Yeah, the thing that I came away from that interview not fully appreciating, that he's very upfront about and very like not bullshit about, was that like The Police was his band. Like, he created that band.
No shit.
And he was a prog rock drummer who discovered punk rock and was like, oh, this is cool. I want to do a punk rock band. And so he found Sting, and they originally had another
wonder him
guitar
and Sting
player.
fucking hated each other.
They kind of did, but here's the thing. Like, in the interview with him, like, he basically admitted, he was like, initially, like, all the early Police singles, like, he wrote. And they had another different guitar player, and Sting was like the bass player and the singer, but they were all Stuart Copeland songs. And then fairly early on, like right around the time they got signed by A&M, like Sting started writing these songs.
Yeah.
And Stuart Copeland was smart enough and egoless enough
to let that
to
happen.
realize, like, oh shit, this guy's amazing.
Yeah,
like,
he's hot right now. It's
I
hot
should,
hand.
I
Let
should
him
just
take
get,
the shot.
and he was very upfront about it. He was very like, yeah, it was my band in the beginning, and we got Sting, and he was amazing, so I just got out of his way and let him take over the
You
band.
see, I gotta say though that there's part of me that really just has this fantasy that one day Stuart Copeland will turn up on the doorstep of Sting's mansion to beat the shit out of him.
Oh, you know he's probably punched him at least once.
I mean, I'm sure back in the day, I have a feeling I get the sense they're all pretty copacetic now.
Yeah,
Well,
now
that
now
reunion
they've
tour
made about
probably.
Exactly.
That
$50
reunion
million.
tour.
I think they're fine now. And then the one where I was like, I really want to do this interview and I don't have time, and I have this writer who I know will kill it.
Yeah.
George Clinton. I turned down.
Oh man,
I didn't have time. I didn't have time
At
to
least get to
interview.
talk to Bootsy Collins at some point.
I didn't have time
Is-
to. No,
Okay,
not
all
Bootsy
right,
Collins
we gotta wrap
either.
this segment up.
Wrap this up. Real quick, last time you and I saw music together was when we saw the Cars at the. It's not the Palladium anymore.
It is still the Palladium.
It's still the Palladium.
Yeah, I interviewed Greg Hawkes, the keyboard player for that tour. He was lovely.
That's a.
It was probably nicer. This is the other thing:
I
is
like
as you get older,
I
and
like
you
to
sort
hear
of
that people are nice.
when you start out doing music journalism, you want to interview your heroes. You know,
Right.
like
You hope
like
that they're not dicks.
myself, 20 years younger. Like I'm like Rick Ocasek or die. Like I'm like I have to talk to Rick Ocasek.
Yeah.
Like as I've gotten older, I'm like I'll interview Greg Hawkes.
Yeah.
I bet he's lovely. I bet
Yeah.
he's really nice to talk to. I bet Rick Ocasek is kind of a dick. I bet he's going to be disappointing.
And but Greg Hawkes was.
Greg Hawkes was awesome.
was a
No,
nice
Rico-
guy.
Could not have
Rico.
been nicer.
Love to hear these.
Do you have? I mean, we got to wrap this up. So, Do you do you have, as a man who set out to interview his heroes?
Tell me
do
stories
you
that'll
feel
make me
different?
happy.
Do you feel different about it now?
Just
interview him, like, oh my god, I can't wait to interview this hero, and now, like, you know what? I hope this person is just not a dick.
No, not at all. I found that, like, pretty often people have something interesting to say if you ask them enough questions and the right questions. You can find something interesting about almost anybody. I will say, though, to Andy's job, musicians are some of the hardest people to interview. And we actually created a segment in the show called the Dinner Party Soundtrack, where we just have musicians tell us their favorite other bands to play at parties, because one thing you can count on musicians to cop to is who they like who they like listening to. Right. But talking about themselves, they're just kind of, it's not cool.
No, it's true. Like, even famous musicians are sometimes, like, not good interviews, even though they've had ample opportunity. And by the way, I should, like, back this conversation up a bit and say, like I say, oh, Rick Ocasek, he's probably a dick. Like, I don't begrudge, like, I have friends in the media, colleagues, freelance writers who've written for me who get very offended, take it personally when, like, somebody's a dick in an interview. I never take it personally anymore. Like, we're the window dressing. Like, it's if they want to be a dick to me, fine. Yeah. Like, I'm the least important thing in their day, you know. And thank God the majority of them are actually not like that, and they're nice.
True. And
but some of them are they hate doing it.
Yes,
and fair enough.
I will say, though, that the older the musician and the longer they've been doing it, like, the more awesome they become.
Yes.
And it may just be because they're old and
you guys did an interview with Willie Nelson that was like that.
That's what I was going to say. Willie
Where
Nelson
it was like, I don't think he said anything substantive at all.
It doesn't
but
matter.
it was just
It's
Willie Nelson.
It's fucking Willie Nelson.
All right,
that was exactly right.
We're gonna wrap this up. Spork,
What?
are you choking on your own blood?
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. I'm fine.
She was going to say something earlier.
Are you gonna? I mean, seriously, because that does not look fine. Do you need some water or a Band-Aid? Do you need some
But you
peanuts?
know what? A Band-Aid would be nice.
We don't
All
have
right,
either.
we're gonna come back
I
here.
just want to say,
Eric,
in
we don't have
2017,
either.
I find this regrettable that it's the one woman in the room that this is happening to. That's all. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah.
Well, I think
we should really be doing better.
It's natural selection, but I'm just going to say.
Check your Band-Aid privilege, kids. So you're listening to the Dinner Party Bound. No, you're listening to the Army of Drunk.
Come on now.
What are we listening to?
The market plan.
Doesn't matter. Here's the fake heads. We'll be back.
That was really sensational.
I watched you all the way down. I loved it.
Well, Harvey's Bristol Cream. Pretty special, John.
Bill, any friends of ours who can ski that deep powder from the top deserve the best there is.
One of the nicest ways to show that you care is to serve Harvey's Bristol Cream. It celebrates more than the occasion.
Cheers.
Harvey's Bristol Cream Sherry. It's imported.
Hey, everybody. We're still alive. I can't feel... No, both my legs.
I can't feel anything, much of anything at this point.
Yeah.
But, you know, when have we ever really used our legs? We're in media.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's a really good point.
Shaw, I can tell by the way that your eyes are not focusing on any sort of, like...
He's staring
stable
up into the
object.
middle distance.
I can tell
They're
by that
both
way
looking-
that there's something maybe in your craw.
There sort of has been, and I mean, that might be...
Would you like to talk about it?
I wouldn't mind.
So what you're saying is, and it is Christmas, is it time to find out what's in Shaw's Christmas craw? What's in Shaw's Christmas craw? What's in Shaw's Christmas craw? It's the holidays and Shaw's got something in his craw and it's coming down the chimney and it's anger in its eyes. It's gonna tell you what's in its thing. Shaw's Christmas craw. Matt?
Well, I'm pleased that you noticed that. You had
it written all over your face.
you gotta know me
tell.
pretty well to know that something's bothering you. And we'll see what happens now once we get off of this mountain. But my plan initially, I had a gorgeous plan.
Yeah.
I was going to go to London for New Year's.
Oh, really?
Show up there the week before.
Okay.
New Year's. And
It's a great place to be at the New Year.
It'd be cold, but it'd be cold, but it'd be Christmassy. It'd be really nice. And then it turns out with my work, with my job, that I needed to cover for somebody else.
So it's almost like you were going to ring in the New Year on like the streets of London.
In London, yeah.
And now you can't do that. That's
Well,
made me angry.
Actually, I can. I'm doing the next. I'm just going to fly out on Friday.
Oh.
So I'll still catch New Year's.
Okay. So you
I'll be there
you're,
for.
You're going to be there for New Year's.
I might stop by the Cayman Islands on the way back to warm back up a little bit.
So it's actually going to work out okay.
More or less, yeah.
So
But it wasn't
everything's fine.
It's pretty good. How about you?
Okay. That's what's in Shaw's Christmas craw! That's what's in Shaw's Christmas craw! He was gonna go to London for New Year's, he was gonna be there the week before, but he's had to change his schedule because they're coming for a co-worker, and now he's just gonna get there early, but it's gonna work out.
Shaw's Christmas craw!
All right, so we're not out of the woods yet.
Not at all.
No. But
Nope.
hey,
We're still freezing to death.
and
last
we
night.
are.
by the
We'll see.
mad
Maybe
searing
that'll never
hatred.
happen.
Yeah,
don't
but
even freeze here. We're not even in the woods.
we're not even. I mean, let's face it. By the way, Therm, the fuselage is still burning, and the hot buttered rooms are delicious.
Yeah. And I'm gnawing on my own fingers because who needs them?
Yeah,
It goes great.
Did you start with the left hand?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Smart.
delicious.
That's how I do.
This,
So
this fiberglass is still super itchy, you guys.
in
Pretty
your
sure
dick,
it's the fiberglass from maybe one of the trays. Maybe one of the meal trays,
I
or
think
it could
that's
be
glass,
from the door.
Matt. And you just can't tell
No, I
the
think
difference because
it's-
you're losing feeling in your.
Yeah,
dick.
doctor says you're gonna die.
Well,
So hey, so we were gonna do a best of and worst of 2017 show, and
But let's face it.
two things. One, half the notes went up in the fire, and two, it's been a really shitty year.
Remember at
no
the
best
end of
of.
2017, and it was just such a fucking grease fire, and we were all like, "Fuck this year."
Yeah,
Can't
Bowie
wait for this
died.
year to be
Yeah.
over.
Oh, Bowie
2016.
died.
End
Yeah,
of 2016.
At the end of
2016,
2016, they were like 2017. It can't get any worse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Turns out,
It could get a lot worse.
yeah.
Yep.
and
Now-
it did.
I like to think everyone here has a little pet worst of 2017.
Remember when the worst thing was just celebrities that we loved dying?
Yeah.
Like that seems like nostalgic and warm now.
So I'd like
Yeah.
to have this be our worst of 2000. I mean, beyond, unless it is, we could list on for a good 45 minutes all the shitty things Trump has done.
Yeah.
And,
I would reanimate the corpse of David Bowie and kill him personally myself, just to have like some basis of like civic normalcy come back.
Yep.
So who has I had a list. I burned it for heat.
Thank you for that.
Who has a list of worst? Who
I'm
has,
gonna-
who has one
Let's
worst
do-
thing?
all right,
Who wants to go
just do
first?
one each.
One each.
I want to start, and this is not news to anybody in this room. We all live in Los Angeles. We're all wise to this. But I traveled more than I have normally traveled in 2017, and so I am just going to pick the self-made hellscape called LAX.
Oh my
Worst-
God!
worst airport?
LAX is a nightmare.
It is
Worst airport.
It is the
It's-
worst airport in the United States.
Yeah,
There was
I
here's
totally agree with that.
It used
Thank
to be
you.
okay.
Have you been to what's?
There's
just
been lots of
fucking
changes to the
getting there.
inside of LAX. It's getting there. It's the fact that you can get.
It's a whole experience, really.
Yeah, you could get from
It's
my
like-
house in the very far east side of Los Angeles to LAX in approximately 15 to 20 minutes, depending on traffic.
Sure.
And then the ensuing mile, once you get
Yeah.
off the 105 freeway,
Yeah.
is another half an hour.
You want to hear about?
I have a
Yeah,
story.
go ahead.
I went and on Christmas Day I decided to fly somewhere on and getting to LAX it was seriously like 28 days later. There was no one left in the city. It was like I took a photo. I had to tweet a photo of the 110 freeway. There was nothing on it. I got down to LAX in 7 minutes and then sat in traffic for a half an hour. There was no one in the city. LAX is a traffic generation machine. It is something magical in a horrible way. It is.
And
Here's
it's a
what somebody
construction
said.
zone. And it's going to be fine. Like in 2030, it's going to be done. It's like
I
when
don't-
you see
I don't
those
believe
signs
it.
on the freeway.
Yeah, I don't
that say
believe it
we're
either.
working for
I don't think
your
it's about construction. I think it's about there was at some point somebody was like, "Here's a great idea. What we're going to do is we're going to take 2 tracks. We're going to have 2 where everybody gets picked up from the airport. We're going to make it so that it's one. Everybody has to be funneled into one place, and then we're all going to go into 2 tracks. You'll have to go to an inside
two
track
horse
and an
trails.
outside track.
We're
Yes."
just going to take all the traffic in Los Angeles and divvy them into 2 horse trails that go into you.
And it's going to be important that you get into the outer horse
Yes.
trail, and we're not going to make that easy at all. We're going to put as many lights between you and that as
And
possible. We're going to put big, giant, literal concrete barriers so that everybody is like, "Oh shit, I have to get over right now."
The process
Every
of getting
10
to your
feet.
every car that comes into LAX, let's ensure that every car comes in is in the lane that they don't want to be in. Everybody
Exactly,
has
perfectly.
to be.
Yeah.
Then
And the
everybody's gotta
seasoning we're
shift.
going to put on the top of this is once you do manage to clear the space into getting near your gate opening, we're just going to add a bunch of fucking cops screaming at
Yes.
you. like fucking Nazi border guards. You're just going to have a guy with a gun. An airport cop is going to scream at you from the second you open the door
He's
of your
not even
car.
gonna
You're
You're
not,
gonna be an
they
airport
don't even
cop.
want you to pause. They're like, no, just keep the car
Yeah.
running and just push them out.
Yeah, you got people,
Jump out of the car
people
as
that are
it's still
saying
moving.
goodbye to their children for the last time that lost them in a custody battle.
You're not allowed.
Or they're
Not
never
allowed.
going to see their kid again, and just that one last hug while this fucking the LAPD is just fucking screaming right in
It
your
has
face.
not been decided.
All
Now,
right, all right. So no, all right,
'em up.
worst,
Andy, your
worst
turn.
airport, LAX. Or who's next? Who wants to go next?
Andy.
I feel like there's all sorts of important things I should talk about, like the loss of net neutrality or
Christ, yeah.
or the death of the iPod.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm not going to talk about any of that shit.
All right.
Because Trueheart really wanted me to like bag on some terrible music.
I do.
Yeah.
So I
You're the
found
music editor, so that's what you're here
I
for.
found-
and keep the wolves at bay for another 6 hours.
I found Eric some terrible music. And even though he didn't release a full album in 2016, I feel like it's still relevant to talk about the
17.
the scourge 2017.
Fair
Sorry,
enough. We're drunk.
to talk about the scourge on society that is Marshmello.
Oh Jesus.
Marshmello is an allegedly anonymous, but everybody knows he's like a douchebag DJ from Toronto, EDM guy, who he's like if Andy Samberg was doing like a parody of Daft Punk, except it's real. Like it's just
like pop star.
It's just a fucking dude who just dresses in like a white jumpsuit and then has like a
thing on
bucket
his head.
over his head with like a smiley face painted on
I've
it.
seen this.
And
Yes.
makes the shittiest dance music you've ever heard in your entire life. And it's huge. Like, people love this guy, and he makes me insane because it's so
That's
terrible.
all you have to
What,
do.
what track do you have so I can track it
Can
down
I-
and
can I
edit it
play-
in the
here,
show
I will-
after we dead?
I will
Yeah,
play
let's
you a
hear it.
little.
We
You
wanna
can
hear
Yeah.
through the magic of editing and dubbing, you can replace this. But I'll play a
How
little
much are we allowed
off
to
my
do?
phone.
15?
6 seconds.
Because honestly, like the difference between what you're about to hear and like what you'd hear on like a
Full
sound
fidelity.
system
Yeah.
is like minimal. It's negligible. It's still fucking terrible. But this is alone. Here you go.
Yeah, push it.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Already with bad.
Marshmello.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh God, you can. Yes.
Oh my God. So
That's
okay.
a fucking ringtone.
It is true.
Hang on. There was in 1992.
This kills in the big rooms in Vegas.
There was a movement called Happy Hardcore.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah.
And it was because a lot of guys who discovered MIDI and anime at the same time. And this is shittier than that.
You're missing the big drop. Here comes the big drop.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, you just know in Vegas, like, oh
they're
yeah.
going-
This
yeah.
sounds like all that fucking horrible EDM.
You get the idea.
It's no my humps,
And,
but it's there.
Yeah.
There's a reason there's a bucket
I would
over
feel
his head.
better. Well, no,
It's-
because you know what
it's-
it is. It's now in 2017. The solution to everything, to separate yourself in music, is to put something retarded on your head.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah. I mean that.
No,
I've
it's
got right
Dead
now. I've got
Mouse
2 more
started
songs. I
it.
got to finish this record, and the next thing I got to do is figure out what bullshit I'm going to stick on my head to fucking sell this record. I think a lampshade. It's time to bring the lampshade back.
Maybe.
You might as
I'm
well.
thinking you could just like strap. I think
There you
what
go.
you need is like just a fireplace log and about like 3 or 4 bungee cords.
Yeah.
And just strap it
Yeah.
onto your forehead.
Yeah.
and that's it.
That's it.
Buck down. Fireplace
Yeah.
log, bungee cords.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a statement. That's you.
Yeah.
You're playing MGM Grand.
Fight me.
Yeah.
Fight me, dude.
This segment is making us all sound really old and bitter and get
Oh,
off
yeah.
my
No,
lawn.
that's
just
fine.
that.
I don't care.
That's fine.
Yeah.
No, but we
I
should point out for the millennials in the audience that Andy is actually a big booster of EDM in general.
I am. I love.
All right.
Yeah.
What's your favorite EDM of 2017?
I will legit go on the record here as saying, like, I went to a show at the Hollywood Palladium right the night after Thanksgiving. I saw another Canadian EDM producer called Snails, who he calls his music, this is his term, not mine, vomit step.
Vomit step.
Oh God, we're at
And?
that state, are we?
I gotta say, it was kind of fucking awesome.
Is it weird, like off, like
It
off beat?
Machine
Like,
making grinding.
all of
vomit
them, it just sounded like one long protracted fart.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would probably go to that and have a great time laughing.
But it was it was a room full of post-millennials, and they were all sort of, it was like a rave, except like a rave that all the color had been sucked out of. It was like a rave in Sin City, where everything was like black and white with like an occasional pop of red. And they were just going ape shit and mosh pits and anyway, yeah. But when we're all dead and buried, there's gonna be like people with there'll be parents with like taking their kids to soccer practice, and they'll be bumping vomit step in their minivan. That's what
Awesome.
that's what we have to look
Sport
forward
the
to.
Sport, do you have a worst?
Circle of life.
Sport, do you have a
Wow.
worst of 2017?
Well, yeah, I was just thinking about there was
Besides
there was
that,
this.
Edward?
Yeah, well, this
Hang
is
on,
fine.
hang on.
It's fine.
Flaps.
The entire
it's
left
sort of frozen
side of
up
your
there.
face. Like, can you see out of your left eye right now?
It's frozen there a little bit.
I can't, but it's okay.
The
You're
band-aid.
not missing
The
anything.
band-aid isn't working. Like,
We're not
No,
it's
the
like-
Band-Aid surprisingly is not working as well as
Should I,
thought it
like,
would.
It's like the Band-Aid is being sucked into your face,
Should I
actually.
It was a sticker off of. It wasn't a Band-Aid, Eric. It was a sticker off of one of our bags.
We don't have any Band-Aids.
Yeah, no.
We have napkins. Would you like some napkins for your
Sure,
head?
yeah.
I'll
like
go
maybe
I'll go get you a
or two.
napkin.
All right.
Still got all these
Like a
peanuts, though.
styptic pen or something.
Pack it full of peanuts. It'll be fine.
Pack
What's
the
your
wound with
worst of
peanuts, so
sport?
yeah.
Well, it was just it's actually, it's one of those like it's so bad it was good. It was like funny. It was a really funny thing, and it was like kind of along the lines of all these terrible like products, like smart products that are coming out, like the smart toaster and the smart brush and the
not that
smart
smart.
pillow. It's the Juicero.
Oh, the Juicero!
Yes.
What is
Whatever
this?
happened to
The
that?
Juicero.
I read about the Juicero.
Yes.
Explain for the folks at home the Juicero, because it was amazing.
The Juicero was amazing. It was really amazing and also like just so terribly awful. But it was a very expensive juicing machine. I think it started out at like a retail price of like $700, which is a very, very pricey machine. It was very fancy, and it came with this bag, and you put the bag in, and it does this magical thing.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Like the bags were like proprietary bags.
Yes, these are
Right.
proprietary.
It was
They're
like-
like cartridges, kind of, and
Right.
you throw
Like
it in there, and then
Keurig
your
cups.
$700 machine does something amazing and magical to this fruit inside to give you fresh squeezed juice just out of it, and you program it, and it'll juice it for you at certain times. It like calls your phone for some stupid reason. I don't even know
I
what
am
that was.
juicing.
Your juice is ready, sir.
And then so people were buying this thing, and then at some point somebody just like picked it up, and instead of putting the bag in the magical juicer, they just decided to squeeze the bag,
Right.
and they realized, oh, hey, I can just do this with my hands. and this machine.
The machine did virtually nothing.
The machine did nothing. And all you were doing, you were buying a bag of juice that a machine would squeeze for you for $700, which is the stupidest thing.
That was
Yeah, because somebody had somebody. I
That was
remembered like somebody had pointed
amazing.
out like the ability to do that.
And then they released a press release where like, do not squeeze the bag by hand, as if it was like, a dangerous thing to do. And of course they're probably flailing by now going, oh my God, what's going to happen? And they reduced the price then by half. I think you could then buy the Juicero. Oh, now you can buy it for $300. And then,
dropped it.
Hang on, Rico, are you wandering off into the snow?
Yeah, I just got to get some napkins for. I can't look at Spork's face anymore. It's just too covered in blood.
The napkins are the other way. Where are you where are you going?
I saw some in the tree over there.
Where are you?
All right,
Rico's are you okay?
I got to be honest. I'm really super hungry, and I think I saw a tree over there. I'm going to eat some bark. I'll be right back. Don't worry about it.
Do you want to drink some more ecstasy, Pete?
Are you Rico?
No, I'm good.
Sure, you should take some more ecstasy.
Rico!
No, wait.
It's gonna be cool, you guys. Rico!
He'll be back.
Oh my
He's
God.
not gonna get far.
I'm
The
sure
Purples will
he'll
get
be
him.
fine. I'm
Oh,
sure we'll see him
Jesus.
again.
Does everybody keep track of where he went so we can eat him later?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Here, maybe this will be a self-solving problem. Like he'll just die in the snow, and we'll just track him down.
The Bjork wolves are gonna pick his bones.
Assuming we don't get another sheet of fresh snow, we can
Yeah,
just
if
follow
the-
the bloody tracks.
If the Bjork wolves don't get him first.
Yeah.
He's really
He'll
running
be
fast.
fine. He'll be fine. He'll be back in. He'll be back in a few minutes.
come
He's gonna
back
go
when he's even
gonna
more
get some
hungry.
Bark.
So anyway,
We'll see what happens.
is that your Juicero?
Yeah, Juicero. Yeah.
I remember
Do you know
reading
what
about
happened to the
That is-
Juicero guys? Like, are they?
Well, what I know is that they
the fire
they
festival of
finally
juicers.
their company went tits up.
And I remember the venture capitalists were angry that like other people could like squeeze their juice without the machine. Like they
Yeah,
were
no, and
Get a
the
juice
Juicero doesn't
loosener.
exist
Gotta
anymore. The
loosen
Juicero
juice.
is dead.
Do you guys remember?
I don't know.
I think the Juicero guys are squeezing juice and under overpasses right now. If you know what I mean.
No, they're probably coming up with some other.
Oh, they're drinking with the
ridiculous
guy
thing
from
that they can-
what's his face that started the fire festival there.
Yeah.
All
the
right,
fire-
so Buck, do you have a worst of 2017?
My worst of 2017 is the worst emoticon of 2017.
Really? What is that?
It's the combination. I don't know. It depends on who's using it, but it's either a clapping hand or a praying hand.
Oh,
it's just
shit.
the two hands sort of touching each other.
Yeah.
And everybody that's ever used that is a total asshole. Because it's either like some fucking yoga hippie that's like, you send them like, hey, I left your shoes out of
Namaste.
shoes out on the porch that you left at my house. Yeah, they're out there and they're just like, namaste, like you just did a life-changing thing, and then it's 20 of the clapping hands after each other and namaste.
Fuck
Or it's like some septuagenarian that got an iPhone for their first time and they just figured out if you press this button, it'll talk in cartoons, and they're religious types, so it's praying hands to them.
Oh,
Yeah.
for fuck's sake.
And then everybody else is just like, you told a half funny thing on Facebook and they think it's applause. So they figure, I'll put 20 of these in a row. At no point does any asshole just throw one of these things up. It's always like 10 to 15 in a row. And the thing is, like, here's the thing with emoticons, which is you have to use them completely pointlessly, and you can't use more than 2 in a row, because after that, they just shrink down.
Yeah, 3 actually.
So-
But yeah, they get
Nobody
small.
ever-
No one
It's
can see them
awesome if
anymore.
you just do like the gorilla and then the little wind blast that comes out of his butt.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
You're done.
Like,
And here's the thing
Nobody
too.
fucking asked for emojis.
Yeah.
I didn't ask for
But the
any of
worst
this.
emoji
But here's the
of
thing. We don't
2017
need these.
is
is the clap? It's a praying, clapping, bullshit head for that.
You know what a good
know?
one is? So you take the left directional arrow,
Yeah.
and then there's one that's just the front of a fist, and then the right directional arrow, and it's just like the fucking jerking off in your mouth motion. Like, yeah, right, whatever, dude. That's the best one.
Okay.
So, Matt, do you have a 2017 worst of?
I do. This came up earlier when it comes to condiments. I know it's a minor thing, but condiment-wise, everybody is really going to need to calm the fuck down about sriracha.
Yeah.
Where's condiments? Sriracha.
It's it's all of a
It's
sudden
some fucking hot
all of a
sauce,
sudden
dude.
you can't
Calm down.
I can't get a day or two through my life without dealing with. It's fucking the angry
know what?
chicken. It's hot sauce. You need to settle down, everybody.
Sriracha mania.
Settle down.
Let's
It's
just- yeah.
vinegar and fucking ground up. I don't know.
Well,
peppers.
sriracha also
Foreign
has a
peppers.
fuck ton of sugar in it.
Yeah.
And we need to
It's
settle
foreign
down. Everybody
peppers, that's what
settle
you're
down.
upset about. It's
All right,
racist.
but I feel so validated when I wear my Sriracha T-shirt in Highland Park. I don't understand.
All right, what do you got?
You might be part of the
all right,
problem.
apart from let's back up a little. Like worst president Donald Trump. We could go on for hours about the worst horrible shit he's done. All that aside, I want to talk about the shittiest liquor I had this year.
Yeah.
And it is
In a crowded field.
Bringing it right back around with being a liquor show.
Yeah,
It can't kill enough brain cells.
The only
at
thing
this
on
point.
topic, it's Apuntia, prickly pear spirit by Ventura Spirits, and Ventura Spirits normally decent people.
Let me have a sip of that.
Ventura
Yeah,
Spirits.
let's try the horrible
Oh
fucking
God,
smoke.
you're not going to want to. Ventura Spirits do a great gin called Wilder Gin. Now this is a prickly pear spirit, and
How is that, Matt?
by the way, Wilder Gin
Holy
is
shit.
fantastic gin.
It had Matt fanning his face.
But here's the thing: this is
That was a little
Apuntia.
sip. That was a little sip. It tastes like...
It tastes.
Oh my God, it's fucking terrible.
I know.
Wow.
Right? Now let me-
Oh my God, that is so bad.
Now let me
Drink
back
some-
up on this because
Holy shit.
if you were
Smart.
angry now, you want to hear how much I paid for it. So okay, so
Oh
it's
my
a prickly
God.
pear spirit, and here's the thing
Prickly,
about
you know, and everyone,
Holy
just to...
It's
for those of us
worse-
who aren't in
it's
Southern
worse.
California,
It's worse
prickly
than you
pear
could
is
possibly
cactus.
imagine.
No, it's cactus, but tequila's cactus, right?
No,
And we've
tequila
had
is
plenty of
agave.
good
Tequila is
tequila.
it's not
agave is a
cactus.
cactus.
That is not a smooth.
no.
liquor.
this.
It tastes like I said, it tastes like the Garden Center at Home
Oh,
Depot.
watch Andy's face.
Whoa!
I know.
What the
It
hell?
tastes like an aloe ointment. Is
I'm
what
gonna
it tastes like.
run into the fire and sacrifice myself
Yeah,
right now to
it's-
get that burning
it is
taste out
like,
of my
'cause
mouth.
normally
I'm
some-
gonna
It's like
back up a
drinking condensation from like a massage room or something.
Yeah.
Like it's just
I don't know. Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like-
it
it's like-
tastes.
it's
It
like-
tastes
it's
like
like-
a rub and tug.
It tastes like the cactus
Totally.
section of the
Yeah.
Home Depot Garden Center.
It tastes like something that's not. You shouldn't have. Like it's something under the
Tastes like
sink.
a-
Yeah.
It's got
No.
the Mr. Yuck sticker on it.
maybe
going
it
on.
tastes like something you got at CVS in the ointment section.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. So
aloe and creepy dudes.
if you know about tequila, what you know is this: that the Mexican government is shitty about tequila. They are hardcore. They are the tequila Gestapo, because in order to call something tequila, not only does it have to be made from certain agave spirits, agave cactus, it has to be made in a certain part of Mexico. And if you even try to make an agave spirit outside of Mexico, they will try to sue you. So much
Yeah.
like we need to disentangle ourselves from Middle Eastern oil, I understand why someone's like, hey, let's make a cactus spirit that we don't have to be beholden to those people in Mexico who will get angry at us for making anything. Let's make American tequila. So someone said, hey, we had prickly pear cactus in fucking Ventura County. Let's try this. And now I'm fucking paying for it. Because
How much did that bottle cost?
you want to know?
I do.
All right, here's the fucking bullshit about this.
Tell me that's like
So-
30 or 40 bucks.
It's like 30 or 40
Jesus
bucks.
fuck.
It's like
Yeah,
over
I-
40.
yeah,
I was like,
my
there's
tongue is
gotta be
numb
a
from
cheaper
it.
place.
I
Well,
don't
your
know.
tongue is numb from fucking
Yeah.
bourbon or vodka, and that's okay because that stuff's good. This is like it's got a weird fleshiness to it.
I'm trying to
And,
imagine
you know, it's
what
taste it again and
It's
tell how
different,
awful it
dear
is.
God.
I still maintain that the plant that you make tequila from is a different plant than just straight up cactus.
It
These are the
is.
big flappy cactus.
Agave.
The agave. No. Agave is what tequila comes from.
Yeah, but that isn't technically
Prickly
it's a
pear.
cactus.
It's
But
a
prickly
it's
pear
a
is not.
succulent. It's a succulent.
All
it's
right,
not a
all right,
cactus.
all right.
I mean, if
That's
it's gonna
horrible.
numb our slow inevitable death, then we may as well keep drinking.
Yeah, all right. You're
it,
listening
you
to the
know?
Army of Drunks Talking Funny podcast
that's
experience. We'll be right
absolutely
back.
right,
We're going to wrap this up, and then we're going to die.
Yeah.
It's Lisa. Season's greetings.
I sound like a Christmas card.
I was just thinking of you. She'll never believe that.
Can I drop by? I've got something special for you. It's his favorite.
Great. So do I. Will she be surprised?
That was a first, but today it's perfectly acceptable to invite myself over. In fact, giving Harvey's Bristol Cream makes it downright upright.
Times may change, but quality never does. Give Harvey's Bristol Cream.
All right.
Hey, everybody.
Final segment.
Therm. Hey, everybody.
Therm stomped off into the
Therm
woods.
has walked off into the woods. I think the idea of who's going to be eaten is becoming easier because Therm's gone.
Yeah.
He's not going to
Rico's
cook
gone.
anybody. Rico's gone. We are the Donner Party download at this
Pretty much.
point.
Donner Party download.
So we usually end with a little game. Merry Christmas to all of you who have no friends.
Hey, Merry Christmas.
I want you to know that even though you have no one who loves you, we love you, just
Well,
from a distance.
let's not go.
So don't get too close. Please don't
All right.
don't contact us.
So we normally end on a game.
We like you.
We went in a game, and it was my job to come up with the game. And by the way, you can email us at drunkmail@armydrunks.net. Nobody does, but you can.
Go for it.
So
Try it. See what happens.
The original idea for the game was I was going to comb through all the things that happened in 2017, all the bad things that happened, come up with a list. The game was going to be I was going to come up with this is a fake thing that happened in 2017 or a real thing, and you had to guess. Here's the thing: too much depressing shit happened in 2017.
All of the terrible stuff actually did happen.
All the thing I could make.
There was a mass shooting every day.
Everything terrible that's happened in the past has happened in 2017.
Yeah, actually,
Worse.
you're right because
Worse.
two of the five
Black Death is the
two
only
of the
thing.
5 worst mass shootings in the United States happened in 2017.
Yeah.
You got to go all the way back. So 2 of the 5. People are scalping Taylor Swift tickets for $5,800 apparently.
Jesus. 2 of the biggest hurricanes.
2 of the biggest hurricanes.
Yep.
Everything's getting Lyme disease, as I discovered, tripled in the U.S. in
Measles is back.
2017.
John Hillerman died.
Yeah, we could talk about worst celebrity deaths. Adam West, Batman, John Hillerman. I don't know who that is. No, I do.
Higgins from
Higgins from
Damn
Magnum
right.
PI.
And then all of the other
musical people. I mean, just shitty.
But
people have made
so
music.
now we're gonna play a game.
We're gonna play a game. So of Trump's tweets this year.
Oh, Trump's tweets.
Most common
it on.
words
Bring
that
it on,
came
man.
up. So this is either in the top 10 of Trump's most common tweet words, or it's not.
Okay.
And
it's true or false?
True or false.
All
Either
right.
it is.
We're doing one word at a time.
One word at a time. And by the there's some compound words in there.
Sure.
It's gonna be okay.
Some of them might not even be words at all.
With our frostbitten stubs that
Yeah.
used to be fingers.
And by the
Throw
way-
what's left of your arm in the direction.
I can't believe we have the bells. I'm pretty impressed that we.
I packed them.
No, I brought. Yeah.
And Kovivi not even in the running. Let's just throw that out
No,
right
we're
now.
not leaving that.
Okay, so of the this is either in the top of Trump's tweet words or not. All right, number 1, for example, nasty. Andy.
I'm going to say it's in the top 10.
Yes, you're right.
Wow.
Yes.
All right.
Nasty, huh?
Okay.
What did I win? Did I win?
No, we're not done yet.
Oh.
We're going to keep going. We're going to add up
keeping
to the
score.
end. Whoever is the loser gets eaten.
Yeah.
All right, finger bang. Vanessa. Not. You are correct. Finger bang is not.
Totally on Vanessa's though.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Next. Monkey shines. Buck.
No.
Oh,
No,
I'd love it if that
Yeah.
was.
But I
though.
love it-
That would be a whole different process.
I would
Wait for
let.
a
Yeah,
second.
the tweets would be made better with monkey shots.
I know.
Any of
Okay.
these.
This is a giveaway. Sad.
Oh yeah.
Andy.
Clearly top 10.
No. Yeah. No. It is. It is. It absolutely is. Okay.
Yeah,
Here
it's
we go.
just, it's like punctuation for him.
It is. All right.
Sad.
All right.
is.
Fries.
Fries.
Vanessa.
No.
Yeah, you're right. No. Okay. Next. Goiter. Goiter. Andy.
No.
No. All right. Andy doesn't want to be eaten. All right. Here we go. All right. Dummy. Buck.
I'm going with yes.
Yes. Buck is
dummy.
right, yes.
Wow.
All right. Okay. Highlight. Oh, Andy
that
Grant
sounds
first.
That's going to be a no.
That's a no. You're right.
Odd
okay.
because he has those Florida roots.
Yep. All right. Yeah. No, it's
Right?
true.
Mar-a-Lago.
Win. Is win in there or not? Winner.
Got it. Yes.
Yes, it is, Vanessa. Yes.
Winning.
Okay. All
It's all
right.
about winning.
Okay. Camel toe. Is that in the top buck? Yes.
No.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but you're right. You're
Yeah.
right. It is no. Okay. Moving on. Chigger. Andy.
Wait, to clarify, CH.
Yeah, that's the autocorrect on his phone.
Chigger.
Though.
I'm going to say no.
You're right. It is
All
not.
right.
It is Trump's top 10 tweet words.
No, that's just the result of autocorrect,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Compound word here. Sucked on. Is that
Sucked on.
Yeah, like a sucked on lifesaver. All right. Fuck.
No.
No, you're right. It is not in his top 10 words. Okay. Loser. Is loser in his top 10?
Oh, yeah.
Andy. Yeah.
Yes.
It is. You're right, Andy. You're correct. It is right. Okay, we're moving on. Girded.
Yes.
Yes. No.
Oh.
I'm sorry, but that's a no.
It
Girded
seems
is
like
not
it
in.
would be.
Nope. All right, moving on. All right,
That's the
shaved. Shaved. Is the word shaved? Is that in Trump's top 10 words? Matt Shaw.
I'm gonna say no.
You're right. It
Yeah,
is
all
not.
right, I'm
But,
on the
you
board.
know,
I'm
I had
on
to
board.
think
it's on
about
his
it.
mind a lot. Shaved.
It feels like that's the one that can tuck in at number 10.
It could just under the door. Witch hunt.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Witch hunt
Oh,
is in his
wow.
top 9. All right, we're gonna wrap this up. Because I'm sort of out of. All right. Okay,
There's
now-
only 10 right answers.
There's only 10 right answers. All right, we got two left. Lacrosse. This is lacrosse. Andy.
No.
All right.
we
Okay.
did
Final.
highlight before,
You're
that's
right. You're right.
If
Final.
highlight wasn't lacrosse,
Lacrosse.
All
definitely
right.
wasn't.
Final. I'm gonna pull this out. Two more. I said two more last time,
Two
but
more?
I've been drinking. All right. Nice is nice in there. Nice top 10.
Oh, that's
Vanessa.
a tough
Yes.
Yes, it is. You're
Yeah.
right.
Oddly
Yeah.
enough.
All right, final word. This
Nice
is
and
to
nasty.
decide who gets eaten or not. Actually, we already know what the scores are. Schlong. Schlong's butt.
Absolutely.
I'm afraid it's not.
For so long.
I know. Yes, schlong. Schlong is
Schlong.
not. Also, okay, top 9 words. And by the way, of the words not in there, mayo. Mayo, not in the top 9 words. It is 1 through 9. Win, nice, sad, weak, loser, dumb, dummy, nasty, and witch hunt. So,
Wow.
winner of this, Andy, you will not be eaten.
Yay! Congratulations. Well,
Loser.
that's good.
Hashtag win.
Bottom, Andy had 6. Buck had 5. Vanessa had 4. Matt Shaw, you had only 1.
I had 1.
We're eating Matt.
Was on the board.
We're
All
eating
right.
Matt.
Yeah.
All right.
Matt
All
was
right.
my vote anyway.
Good luck. Good luck,
Is
fuckers.
that somebody coming over the hill?
I
Wait
have
a
spent.
minute.
I think I see a light.
Wait a minute.
You might be all right. 'cause
At
I-
the end of these shows, normally Santa comes to murder all of us, but maybe this is a rescue team.
Yeah.
Wait, it's a red light.
Yeah.
It's the
Is it Rudolph?
it's the light of a reindeer's nose, and
a
oh
good
my God, it's Santa!
Oh, it's
We're
Santa!
saved.
We're
No.
You gotta get us out of here.
Eat my leg, kids!
From Hell's Heart,
We stab at thee.
Merry Christmas, everyone. This has been the Army of Drugs. Everything's
We're
going
ghosts
black.
now. We're ghosts now.
Happy
Am I a ghost? Am I dead?
2018.
I think I'm already dead.
This has been the Army of Drunks 2017 Christmas special. We're all dead now, but hey, you can visit our website at armyofdrunks.net. You can send us an email at drunkmail@armyofdrunks.net, or look for us on Facebook. Just search for Army of Drunks. Once again, we'd like to thank our Patreon people. I'd like to thank Rico and Andy. Oh, and by the way, if you want to hear the extremely long, unedited version of this show, join our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/armyofdrunks, and you'll get access to all sorts of good stuff. Remember, this is copyright 2017 Army of Drunks. And no, I got nothing. Happy fucking holidays. LDB out, motherfuckers.